and welcome to Babies with Knives. This is Crash Course Corner, where we teach you the basics of how to play a game system. Today we're taking a look at Supergame. I'm Alice Peng, aka Lala Twiddle on the boards.
And I'm Brandon Powers. Supergame is a superheroic RPG published by Presses Intermedia. Initially published in 1980, it was the first superhero RPG to provide total character creation control via a point-based system to purchase powers. The property was resurrected in 2017 with Supergame's third edition release. It is designed to provide players a strong level of customization options while not getting bogged down in minutia.
Supergame is written with 3 different dice conventions in mind, though only one should be used during any given play session to keep a consistent feel and power between all characters. The first dice system is to use 2d6. The first is a positive d6, while the second d6 is subtracted from it. This provides a number range between -5 and +5. The second die convention is to use 4 fudge dice. These are the dice that are numbered -1, 0, and +1. Rolling 4 of these dice equals a -4 to a +4 range. The last die convention is to use 2d10s and roll on a chart provided in the Supergame book. The chart provides results from -4 to +4, though most results will float in the range of -1 to +1.
These dice will have the character add a number to them depending on the type of action that they are taking. Punching someone would add a character's fitness, while puzzling out math problems would rely on insight. The total of these two is then compared against a target number, determined by the target of the action, or if there is no opponent involved, by a value chosen by the director, Supergame's GM. These target numbers range from 2 for a trivial action all the way up to 20 for the impossible. The amount that a roll exceeds the target number is known as the overkill. Overkill is used to determine the effect of a roll. More overkill means greater effect. Not all rolls are affected by overkill. When it is important to know how badly an action has failed, Supergame also provides an underkill guideline.
Supergame uses 2 types of scenes called open and sequential scenes. Open scenes are where the order of the action isn't necessarily important. Open scenes can last minutes, hours, or even longer. They are most often used for downtime between adventures, role-playing, researching, and similar activities.
Sequential scenes are for when the order of action is more important, like when you're in combat. Sequential scenes are broken up into 10-second turns. The order for each turn is determined by rolling initiative at the beginning of the sequential scene. Roll the dice and add the result to the character's initiative value. Highest initiative goes first.
During a turn, a character can perform a general and a movement action. General actions are going to be attacks and other actions that take a few seconds to accomplish. Characters can attempt more than one general action during a turn, but each subsequent general action takes a -2 die penalty. A character attempting 3 general actions would therefore be modified by 0 for the first, -2 on the second, and -4 on the third. Sooner or later in Supergame, you're going to end up in a fight. Attacking in hand-to-hand uses a character's fitness, and if using a weapon, the weapon will provide a bonus from 1 up to 5 for a disintegrator sword. Ranged weapons do not use fitness and instead provide a bonus to the dice roll based on the weapon. Some ranged weapons gain a +1 to a +3 additional modifier from fitness. Supergame makes this differentiation between melee and range because ranged weapons do not benefit from all of a character's fitness the way that melee combat does.
Lastly, powers will generally add bonuses to fitness or insight to determine the modifier used for an attack. Once you identify the modifiers to use, the attacker rolls their dice and adds modifiers, then comes up with a total. That total is then compared against the target's toughness or willpower for mental defense. If the roll exceeds the target number, the attack is a hit. The overkill generally determines the damage the attack does. 1 wound per point of overkill, up to a maximum of 4 wounds done by an attack.
Wounds represent a person's ability to function while damaged. While 1 wound is trivial in injuries, 4 wounds represents critical injuries, most often either knocking a character unconscious or otherwise removing the character from the fight.
Base rules in Supergame provide no penalties for the wounds that a character has, but optional pain and impairment rules have wounds increase difficulty of all actions by the number of wounds a character has.
All player characters have hero points that can be used for a number of different effects, including dice rerolls, pulling punches, using superpowers in new ways, and introducing elements to a scene or doing things with style. When rerolling, use the better of the rolls, not the newest roll.
Multiple hero points can be spent to heal from wounds, increase the effect of a power, or get knocked to the ground instead of being wounded by an attack. A character's pool of hero points refreshes at the beginning of every session, allowing players to use them regularly.
With that crash course, you should have all the tools you need to sit down and play Supergame. If you're interested in making a character, though, please tune in over the next 2 weeks for our upcoming Babies with Knives character delve, as well as sample character creation. In a few weeks, make sure to keep an eye out for our actual play of Supergame.
If you have any questions or comments, you can find us on Facebook and Discord. Links to both provided below. Thank you for joining Babies with Knives. Come back next time to get honed.